Hi, I'm Camilla.
And I'm Kang, and we are
the FI Resellers. And today we have a What Sold video for you. So we're going to share some of our top sales from the past week. And then we're going to share how much we made on all the different platforms as a full-time and a part-time reseller. And then we're going to share a little bit about where that money goes. We invest it, and so we'll give you an update on how our investments are doing, which I don't think that they're doing very well, but I haven't looked. So we'll have to give you an update. You'll have to stay tuned to the very end so that you don't miss out on any of that. And yeah, we'll just get into it.
The first one is really exciting. It's the first time we sold this brand. It's these beach breeches, is what they call it, by Birdwell for $57.01 on eBay.
So I guess if you call a swimsuit a beach britch, then, you know, it makes it worth a lot of money. I don't really understand. But these are a pretty cool pair of swim shorts, and I guess they're worth a lot of money. So definitely be on the lookout for this brand because the sell-through rate was great. These sold really quickly, and they sold for a good amount, and they were super light, so great when we picked them up from the bins.
Can you believe almost $60 for a pair of swim trunks? That's just nuts.
I would never. I would never.
We want to highlight two game sales with you. And first is this bundle of, it was a lot of two, these Legend of Zelda games for $41.15. And this other one was Super Mario Bros. For $24.25 on eBay. So just 3 games, and we've made almost $40 profit, which means that we have almost paid for that bundle that we bought. We had gotten that bundle from a garage sale for $40 all in, and we've made almost enough to cover the whole thing. So we're really excited about that. That means everything else is kind of free.
Yeah, so this is a little bit out of our regular wheelhouse. Most of the time we sell clothes and shoes. So when we sell other items, you know, like video games, it just feels really exciting because it's like, oh, we're learning something new. It's exciting. It's definitely something that we see a lot on YouTube. A lot of other people pick up video games and do really well with them. So we're always kind of jealous because we're like, oh, we never find video games. So when we finally found some, I say we, I mean Kang. Kang went out to the garage sale by himself. But when he finally found some, it was just so exciting.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, we get to be part of the Cool Kids Club now, selling video games. You know?
And I'm the main product tester, so you know I'm going to have a really good time. It just brings a little bit more excitement to this house, and you get to play games together and whatnot, so it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Kang is living it up as the last couple weeks before becoming a dad. Re-experiencing his childhood with some video games.
Exactly. The nostalgia is real high right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to cut to this next one. It's really cool.
So here we have a feed sack quilt, and it's patchwork. It's not in very good condition. It has a lot of rips and tears throughout, but it is really pretty feed sack fabric. So we listed it just the other day, and it sold for $60 plus shipping on eBay. So a really great sale. And we picked this up when we were in Aspen. We had this tiny little thrift store, and we were thinking that we didn't find very much, and finally I just went over to the blankets thinking, okay, well, I'll look through these. I found this, and this is a great find because they had it priced pretty cheap, and it's, you know, just something every thrift store has, you know, little things that they don't know about that, you know, you might know more about. So even in a store where you think, wow, everything's so expensive, they know what they have, they don't know everything. Right. You might know something that they don't. So
now we'll show you how we're gonna pack it.
Okay, so I'm often the one who packs up our quilts for shipment, and I like to do this little number where it basically is surrounding the whole thing with saran wrap. What it ends up doing is keeping it kind of watertight. What I've ended up doing is wrapping it in the corners as well. So I've basically done a cross section this way, and then a little bit on the corners because it wasn't quite big enough. So there you go. Kind of just make sure all corners are covered, and let's see the fit. Wow, look at that.
wow.
Great fit. Doesn't matter if it's gonna bounce around because obviously it's a quilt, but we're ready to ship it out.
So we hope that you liked that clip. That shows you how we pack up our quilts, and we already got positive feedback from this buyer. So a really, really great sale. Do not sleep on quilts.
Yeah, we sold these khakis by the brand Bills, and we sold it for $39.65 on eBay. It took a little over 2 months, but apparently these are pretty sought after.
Yeah, so this is definitely a brand of khakis that you should be on the lookout for. They are really high quality, so people look for them. And these were, I think, a raw hem, like they hadn't been hemmed up. So the buyer would have to do that as well. And it even seemed like they were taken in almost. They said that they were a 32, but when I measured it, it was actually 30 across the waist. And it looked like it had been taken in at the back. Like I could see the seam there. So pretty interesting pair of pants. I don't know if The other khakis by this brand, maybe if they were more normal, they would have sold
A lot
faster.
yeah.
But just something to be on the lookout for.
Next, we sold this dress by Alice and Olivia for $40 on Poshmark.
I think that we maybe could have gotten more for this dress. I had it listed originally at $50, and then someone came in and offered me $40, so I accepted. Some Alice and Olivia, depending on how current it is, how intricate the design is, you know, all of that kind of stuff, how trendy, that sort of thing, can determine the value of this brand. So some things, you know, this was a little bit of an older dress. I would say this isn't necessarily super in style right now, this style of dress. So that was the reason I priced it a little bit lower and then accepted an even lower offer from that. I just figured, you know, this was a nice dress and it's prom season, you know, so maybe someone was wearing this to like a junior prom or a prom.
Nice.
So I wanted to, you know, sell it off to someone.
We sold this new tag tuxedo jacket by Express for $64.65 on eBay.
So we got this in a men's thread up rescue box, and so that was a great thing to find in the men's thread up rescue box. So what we did with that box was we kind of divided it and we listed all the good stuff, and we still have some of the kind of bummer stuff that we haven't listed yet, but we're kind of saving it for when we don't want to go out thrifting and we just want to be able to put up inventory. So kind of our money pile is what we're keeping it for.
Well, we always want to go thrifting, but when we can't go thrifting, when we have the baby.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
We always want to go thrifting.
Exactly. This is a great sale. It took me a while to list it because I just had been putting it off because it seemed kind of complicated, you know, with like how fancy it was, that sort of thing. You know how you just get in your head sometimes with like listing things? I don't know, King might not be like this, but I am like this where I'm like, oh, it just seems so, I have to do research, I have to work on it, you know, that sort of thing. It seems like a project. Anyway, this sold pretty quickly once it was listed. And consider maybe even getting a men's thread up rescue box. You can see us unbox it up here. So if you want to check out and see, you know, what kinds of things we get in those boxes. Not every box is the same. Some are bad, really bad, and some are great. So, you know, it's just kind of a gamble.
We sold these really nice dark brown Justin boots for $90 on Poshmark.
So these are really cool. They were lizard leather on the, you know, kind of the toe part of the boot. And so they were just really nice boots, and they were in pretty good condition. So I listed them for $100, and someone came in and offered me $90, which I immediately accepted. What a great offer. I love when people do that. Yeah. Just 10% off. I was like, of course. And so that was a great sale. We are definitely listing a lot of cowboy boots. We've been finding a good amount of them recently, and we've been listing them, and they've been selling pretty well. So that was great, and just a really great sale. We love finding cowboy boots and selling them. It feels like, you know, part of our Texas mission.
Yeah.
So we sold this pair of teaks. They are a clover green color, and cool. They're in a size 10. And Kang found these in our latest haul. So you will definitely have to check out that video where we picked these up.
Posted that. So you should go back and check it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is such an exciting brand for us to find. It's just our second time finding it. And these are in much better condition than the ones that we found previously.
Yeah, and you will definitely know these teaks by the bottoms. Look at just kind of that design.
Pretty memorable. So don't miss these when you are out and about, because these sold for $117 on Poshmark. So have them listed for $130, and our Posher VA sent out an automatic 10% off offer with discounted shipping, and the person accepted within 1 day of them being listed on Poshmark. So really, really great sale. Will definitely be a good sale to, you know, add to our week. We were so excited when we found these in the bins. That was like such a great find. We were just like over the moon. Our second time finding teaks, but our first time finding like nice teaks.
Legit teaks.
So these are just amazing. And, you know, you don't get a sale like that every day, but it's pretty good.
Right. The first ones that we sold were pretty damaged, and those only went for $40. But these, really nice. Legit for sure. We sold these braided sandals by Taos for $39.65 on eBay.
So this is one of our favorite brands, kind of an underrated brand, I think, to find, especially at the bins, because they're so cheap. And they go for a good amount, and often when we find them, they're in pretty good condition. So they're kind of like a comfort shoe brand. Like, I would say they're kind of in line with Vionic in terms of value and comfort and things like that. Just a really great brand to be on the lookout for, and not one that I hear a lot of resellers talking about.
Our first time finding and our first time selling a Goldie jeans. We sold them for $40 on Poshmark.
So I had these listed originally for $50, but this day what I did, our sales were kind of slow. this week, and so I was thinking, okay, I want to try to jumpstart our sales. So what I did on Poshmark is I used our Posher VA to send out 20% offers on all of our listings. So I send 10% offers 1 minute after someone likes the item. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to capture that person while they're still in the app. So if they're scrolling through things, they're liking items, trying to kind of narrow down their search, and then they go back to their main page and they see that they already have an offer from me, they're more likely to buy my item, is what my thought is. But anyway, so then when I want to spur a lot of sales on Poshmark, what I do is I send 20% offers on, everything, and I figure that that goes to everyone who's already gotten the 10% offer, and if they didn't want 10%, maybe they'll want 20%. And I usually get a good amount of sales from that. So this was one of them. Sold for $40, so 20% off plus discounted shipping. It sold pretty quickly. Once it had been listed, it got a lot of attention on all different platforms, but finally sold, on Poshmark.
We sold these brown riding boots by FI for $60 on Poshmark.
These were the campus boot. These had a style number in there, so I looked those up. They seem to be doing pretty well. I think I had them listed originally at $75, and someone came in and offered me $60, which I accepted because they weren't like in the best condition, in terms of leather. There's definitely wear on the leather, which I had pictured and described. So I was happy to get $60 for them. They were a really cool boot. I feel like this is like very kind of like 70s style, like bohemian, but also like kind of timeless. So very cute boots. I hope that the buyer loves them.
We wanted to share 2 sales that weren't great but are worth talking about. The first one are these wedges by Olukai. We sold them for only $13 on Poshmark.
We had gotten these and I thought that they were really nice. If they were in good condition, they could sell for like $40. But these it was almost like a sort of like a velvet teen sort of feel on the side. And it had worn off in some places. Yeah. Like there were like bald patches essentially. Is basically what I would describe it as. And so
I think what happened is that when I was cleaning them, they started rubbing off. It might have had a little bit peeling off before I started, because I wasn't like, scraping it or anything.
Yeah, you wasn't like going at it with sandpaper or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think what happened is that it was already starting, and then when I was kind of lightly doing it, it started peeling off more. We try to clean each of our items, especially shoes. We try to give it at least a wipe down so that it's presentable in the pictures. And this just happened to have, flaked off, and it's really unfortunate, but at least we recovered our money and made $2 profit, so we'll take it. Yeah. Otherwise, Olukai is just a great brand. We love picking it up.
Right. So this was an example of something that we maybe should have looked at a little bit closer, or maybe it was just, part of us not realizing what we were handling, so that just goes to show you, that happens all the time in reselling. It happens to us constantly where we're, we take a picture of something and we're like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't realize that this had this flaw or things like that. Right. So you can still sell things, that are damaged, and, just make sure that you describe them pretty well.
We also wanted to highlight these golf shorts by Bonobos. It sold for $14 in Mercari.
These I picked up because they had a really good sell-through rate, but they don't sell for like a whole ton of money. I would say when I looked at the comps, they were selling with the used shorts on Terapeak. It said basically an average of $15 for the whole past year. So I figured, when someone came in and offered me $14, that was pretty close to the average price that people were getting. And so I was happy to accept that. This did get a lot of interest on, the different platforms, and I did get a couple lowball offers on them. I think people, these guys just wanted to like cheap golf shorts, but I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Don't lowball me. I did end up accepting 14, which maybe the lowballs kind of primed me for, like when you get like a ton of lowball offers and you finally get something that's even close to reasonable, then you accept it. Whereas like if that was the only offer, maybe you would have countered or something like that.
Yeah, I think the bigger overarching topic with this is that, we have a lot of bread and butter sales that we don't exactly, address, but there are seasonal items that we sell for $15 to $20. There are yearly items throughout the year that we sell for $15 to $20. They are the bread and butter, the foundation of our business. We hope that you are taking a little bit from this, where it's like we love to give you the highlights because they're the items to be on the lookout for, just in case you haven't heard of them before. But at the end of the day, you should have a good foundation of $15 to $30 items that will give you a really good sell-through rate and a pretty good profit on each of those items, so that you can build this business up. Because we also show you the cost, and we also show you the shipping. So based on all of those factors, you can make an informed decision on how you're going to profit from any particular item, especially if it's going to be $40. I feel like a $40 point where you think, is it worth paying $5 to $10 for a $40 sale? Or once you take all of the other fees out, is that enough profit? And so I hope that that also helps you build your business, because it's really important to see all the numbers, or at least for us it is, because we can tell you that it sells for 100, but did we get it for 50? Is that a good enough profit for us? Maybe. I mean, it really depends on the sell-through rate too. So we do want to share that with you once in a while. Hopefully it helps you build your business as well.
Yeah, so this past week we sold 73 items, and we only highlighted 11 of the best sales and then 2 of the sales that are more of the bread and butter. So you might not want to sit through a big long video of all 73 items that we sold, because it would be a lot of repetition, and week after week it would be a lot of the same items. So we don't want to bore you with that, but we do want to just recognize that, yeah, out of 73 sales, we had 11 that were close to about $40 and above. There are definitely business models that, they try to have everything sell for over $40, but that's not our business model, and maybe that's not yours. And we just want to say that just because those are the sales that we're showing you, that's not the majority of our business.
Right.
We sold 73 items this past week for a gross revenue of $1,746.86. Our cost of goods, so the amount that we actually spent on those 73 items, was $164.15. So on eBay, we sold 27 items for $454.72. Poshmark, we had 21 sales for $417.86.
Ooh, close.
I know, Poshmark was catching up to eBay this week. We had a couple really, really good sales on Poshmark, so I think that helped.
Yeah.
Facebook, we sold 9 items for $108.80. On Mercari, we sold 5 items for $60.80. And then I also had an appointment at Leopard Lounge, which is a vintage store in Houston, and I think in Austin maybe. There's a company that owns a couple different buy-sell trade stores, so they own Leopard Lounge, Pavement, and another store called, I think, Money or something like that. Anyway, they own all these 3 stores, and you can take clothes in to sell them. Leopard Lounge is mostly vintage items. And so they bought 11 items from me for a profit. So they gave me $105, but after I take out my cost of goods for those items, I actually profited $89.20.
Pretty decent.
So yeah, pretty decent. It is like such a hassle to get there. And we live out in the suburbs. So it's kind of like down and like near Rice University, and the parking is terrible. I just circle the block to like find a parking spot. And anyway, it's like so crowded and whatever. And I just like in there, I felt so old. I was like sitting there with my pregnant belly, and like these like teeny boppers are like, have you ever seen the Lizzie McGuire movie? Like that's such a classic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. So anyway, it's like not a great experience, but it's worth it, when you take down all the money and all that kind of stuff. But
age is all relative though.
Yeah.
It's like you can feel young.
But the thing is like I probably am like close to the same age as them. Like they can't be, less than, I don't know, maybe they're like 20, 22. I'm not like, I'm still also in my 20s, but I'm obviously in a very different like
stage of life
circumstances. Like we live out in the suburbs, we're having a baby, like married, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not bopping around in vintage stores, like whatever. Anyway.
All right, let's move on. What's the profit we made?
Our final profit after fees, shipping, and cost of goods and all of that was $1,131.38. So a pretty good week. Definitely has blown our past 2 weeks out of the water. So it seems like we're getting back into the groove after being out of town, having our store on, vacation. And it helps that we, did a sale on Facebook. We did a sale on eBay, although I don't even know that anyone bought anything from our sale on eBay. And then I sent out 20% offers on Poshmark. So we definitely were doing some things to, jumpstart sales, get people to buy our stuff. So I think that helped this week.
Okay, now it's time for our segment on building wealth. We're going to show you an update on our total stock market index experiment, and it's down $1,200, a little more than $1,200. And quite frankly, we're not going to beat a dead horse over and over again. We're just going to hold on to it. We're going to keep showing you how it's going. But this time, we're going to show you a chart that essentially shows people can predict when the top is. People are going to, assume when the bottom is, that things are going to collapse or whatever. In 2008, people thought that it was a complete collapse and it was going to go down to zero. You know, some people thought that something similar would happen 2 years ago. And the chart shows the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and a lot of people use it as an indicator of how, you know, the health of the market is doing in the US. And what it shows here is that there are a lot of the tops. You might have heard the phrase, you know, the Dow Jones is at an all-time high a lot last year because it kept climbing last year and it just kept reaching new highs. And this year you might hear that, you know, it's continuing to go down or it's lower than it was, blah, blah, blah. What we're trying to tell you is that you can't really predict these things. There has been doom and gloom in the past. There will always be people who are going to predict certain things. But if you know what you are investing in, then you can have a long-term mindset. You know, along with building wealth in terms of the stock market, we also want to talk about this other topic, which is a lot of things in life are negotiable. And I think that people who go garage sailing have a lot more of a muscle of negotiating than people like us who go to the bins all the time. The muscle is trained when you are asking for a lower price on any particular thing at a garage sale or when you bundle things or whatever. It gives you that muscle to train you to think things are negotiable and you can take it from reselling into the real world. For example, we had a medical bill that it was out of the network, and so we had to pay all of it out of pocket. And so we paid over $600 for this particular bill, but I went back and talked to a broker that works for my company. They were able to get it onto the insurance and we were able to successfully get back that money. So it's not exactly negotiating, but I tried to negotiate in the sense that I tried saying, can we lower the price and let's see what happens. It was just sending an email, just trying to get something to work out, and it saved us over $650. And so this is something that I don't think a lot of people take to heart, and people are nervous about negotiating in general. That's why I think that, you know, people who go to garage sales have a much better muscle for this, training themselves to negotiate, and they're willing to ask. So building wealth also has to do with asking for things when you feel like there is a possibility to gain something, whether it be monetary or some added benefit. So an example of an added benefit is when we went to the Baby Moon, they upgraded our hotel room because we just asked, right? We said we're celebrating something, you know, obviously there was an occasion, but we wouldn't have gotten it if we didn't ask. These are the things that I think are important to building wealth because it feels like you have some power. You're taking some power because asking is going to be a maybe yes, but not asking is definitely no. So that's something that we've been practicing. You know, we've been wondering if we can get better things or we can get more from any particular experience. So building wealth is a very broad, you know, topic. This, I think, is very valuable to us because it can be applied to a lot of different circumstances, a lot of different examples that we've given you. And so hopefully that inspires you to go to garage sales, maybe do some negotiating and training that muscle because it can definitely work in your real other life circumstances as well.
We don't have any community BOLOs this week, but if you have something that I sold really well, send it to us. We would love to feature you, give you a shout out, and just, you know, celebrate your win with you.
Yeah.
So you can DM us on Instagram, you can send us an email, anything like that. Just, you know, hit us up and we'd love to feature you. So thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked this content. If you liked this video, that tells YouTube that this video should be shown to more people, which we love. We love, you know, meeting new people on YouTube and all of that.
Yeah.
And leave a comment down below how your sales have gone this past week. Are you also feeling kind of the upswing of, you know, into May, or are you feeling kind of the summer slowdown? Let us know how things are going for you. We would love to hear from you down in the comments. And if you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our YouTube community.
Yeah, keep that passion burning, y'all. Whatever it is you're doing for your business, we really hope that you are finding joy in it, whether it's doing repetitive things or finding something new to keep that passion really going and burning. We hope that you're doing well, and we're really rooting for you. We'll see you later.
Bye. Sold for $40, so 20% off plus discounted shipping.
You know, I'm kind of surprised that these didn't sell for more.
I don't know, because when I looked up this specific style, they were going for about $50.
Okay.
And I think it's because they are like a cropped jean.
Oh, they were cropped?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't really know if jeans are like cropped and stuff until I get them and I actually measure them when I'm taking pictures, and then I'm like, because like I'm a shorty, so like, you know, it just looks like normal length to me.
Right.
But I guess on normal size people, they're cropped.